Humanized Big Data, Insight Engines and the Future Trajectory of Technology. We'll talk about 6 different trends that will make business more intelligent. Conversational systems and human dialogue with artificial intelligence. So here we see an AI and they can have a humanized dialogue with people. So there can be direct natural conversation, questions can be asked, answers and confirmations can be given back. Problems can be solved by asking questions. The AI will have knowledge, rules, manuals for responses, dictionaries, virtual assistants, connect with the database, and use all kinds of strategies to have a meaningful conversation with the human. And if he cannot resolve it, he will then transfer it to the operator, and the operator can learn, the AI can learn from the operator's responses. So recommender systems on sales platforms or so-called chatbots that carry on the dialogue with the user in order to guide him through a business process are no longer rarity. You can get these chatbots made on Fiverr or other places like that as well for cheap prices. And the recommendations are usually vague and the intelligence is limited, and so that's where the opportunity is. With it, the user motivation. And so companies are increasingly investing more in such natural language processing and natural language question answering using their BI systems that make their systems smarter and more efficient. For example, in a conventional system today, the user types in a search query and receives a hit list that is no more than a bunch of documents. And then he must go shuffle through these documents to extract an answer. Whereas a question answering system can respond with concrete answers so that the exchange is very much like an ideal conversation between two people. And so to achieve this goal, a great deal of AI is required in the background, and the system has to be able to extract from context of the interaction and the mood of the person asking the question and things like that. So there are also companies building out AI which can look at the mood of the person using the webcam or eye movement and so on. And the progress in this area is great, and hopefully we can soon see dialogue systems that will make it impossible for the user to figure out that if he's talking to a human being or a machine. And that's effectively the meaning of what a Turing test is. Then the next thing is that this humanized big data, so we want to stress quality over quantity. So it's not that we got a whole lot of results for our question, but rather we got the correct answer or the correct result. And there are other things like trends of, like the Internet of Things and adding intelligence through appliances and components and more data, big data, right? So let's say you have in a production environment a technically advanced machines that are already continuously sending data about the current status, alerts, notifications, and so on. And the quantitative foundation, machine learning, and all these things are also used to understand and make meaning of this data. So that should help increase the quality over the quantity by using the right algorithms on the right data. And also data visualization. So the next thing is we also have augmented information. We have a 360-degree view of our subjects and customers. And augmented reality is already a major issue in the consumer sector. So in the principle, the aim of this augmented reality is to enrich the physical realm with digital information. So you point your phone camera at something and you get information about that thing that you're pointing at. Or so you've effectively augmented that real thing with digital information on your phone. Or if you're trying to figure out how to arrange an empty room, you can point your phone at the empty room and then place furniture in the room. So now you're augmenting the room with furniture to see what it would look like if you were to place furniture in the room without actually moving physical furniture around. The business sector is following the same principle by linking areas that were previously separated from each other. And so we'll see an increased trend toward combining data from a variety of sources to provide employees with 360-degree view of the customers and of subjects. So you might scroll over a given customer and you would see all kinds of augmented information about that customer. So systems need to make the data available automatically across all data applications and kind of kill the interdepartmental and company boundaries. So that kind of augmented information will also be part of the enterprise search technologies and so on. Then there's the proactive information management. The digital assistants are just around the corner. So important information gets lost in this daily flood of information right now, right? So you have this news feed and you have so much information coming through. Maybe you can figure out what's important, what's less important by the frequency at which it's coming through. And so for this reason, we'll see systems which will try to select the right information. Facebook newsfeed kind of already does that, right? It filters and figures out which things to show, which things not to show. It no longer shows all the statuses of it that everybody's posting to you. And it's like having a personal, the ideal thing is like having a personal human assistant who's looking out for which appointments are important, which ones are not, when an important meeting's pending, when an important contract's pending. So this is called the proactive information management system. And this happens by permanently observing a person's working methods and type of information that that person finds relevant. And so then the system can learn to differentiate between important and unimportant information. Pandora does this for music, for example, right? So it learns which music we like to listen to or we don't like to listen to. And we can use information alerting, information on demand, and pushing information. And we can also say to our assistant, hey, give me more of this or give me less of that, and so on. The next thing is, insight engines, clever searches. So if you take the first four things we just talked about, you end up with an insight engine. This term is coined by Gartner. And it's the idea that, your insight engine can take and communicate in natural language, get all the data together, provide the deeper insights. It knows about you everything and can help you out. And then, as I said, AI is obviously important to free up resources, and it's also important to create the quality over the quantity. And AI can definitely help us. Machine learning, deep learning can help us get through these big data kind of challenges and future of humanized big data. It definitely depends on AI and machine learning and deep learning. So that's it for now. So that's the idea that we want to take artificial intelligence and humanize it and personalize it for human beings to make our lives easier and our data consumption easier.